XRP $30 SuperCycle. In this video, I'm going to break down how I believe a $20 to $30 XRP SuperCycle that extends into 2026 is on our way, and it's based off of data. Not hopium, not looking at the stars, although sometimes we look at the stars. We're looking to get alpha wherever we can. And at this point, we really don't need to look far. We just look at the data that we're seeing on the inflows into the Bitcoin ETFs. We correlate that with an understanding that there's just as much demand, if not more, for XRP, and yet we have no ETFs live yet. Well, I guess I can't say that anymore. We have a couple XRP ETFs, the Rex Osprey being the first spot XRP ETF, but an additional half dozen XRP ETFs set to go live this month. And we're just looking at the data that's happening now in regards to the 50 billion plus inflows into the Bitcoin ETF since inception. What does that mean for XRP price? A $20 to $30 super cycle is the base case. Let's get right on into the update. I appreciate you for stopping by. All of our community resources are available at zachrector.com, and we also have quick links down below. Now, yes, we did warn of the pullback taking place. That's happening right now. I put out an update yesterday titled XRP Timeline Update. It was more of a timeline update over, this week into the next couple months. What can we expect? So yes, I did warn that this was the bull trap rally taking place right here yesterday, taking us up to 292. And I did consider that they would extend the bull trap rally into today, but I was expecting this to roll over based off of the government shutdown. The markets don't like the uncertainty. So this pullback to 282 was expected. Didn't know if it was going to come today, tomorrow, but we were watching over the next 48 hours. We knew it was going to get a little bit shaky, a little buying opportunity for some. Now, right on into it, silver, gold smashing gains. Overnight gains are accelerating with silver up 63% year to date. Gold prices up 46% year to date. Absolutely crushing. This makes precious metals one of the best performing asset classes for 2 straight years, all as the US dollar collapses in its worst year since 1973. We've said it before and we will continue to repeat. Own assets or you will be left behind in the new era of monetary policy. Precious metals allows us to keep up and not get left behind, and now our defensive measures have been destroying the offensive measures of Wall Street. Our precious metals crushing. And then when it comes to going on offense, we are taking quantum leaps with our portfolio in XRP and other good utilities that have been absolutely running this market, while the US dollar is now on track for its worst year since 1973, down over 10% year to date. Since 2000, the US dollar has lost over 40% of its purchasing power. I think that's generous. All as the Fed cuts rates into 2.9% core PCE inflation for the first time in 30 years. Gold and Bitcoin know what's coming. You want to have some real fun? XRP knows what's coming. I love it. I love all these guys. They just, Bitcoin, 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 like little birdies. Bitcoin. Let them play around. Let them have fun. Bitcoin, it's doing all right. And I'm going to show you the data on the Bitcoin ETF inflows. Congratulations. Doing really good. Lock in, please, because what XRP is about to do is about to make that look like playtime. And so we're looking now here at Nvidia extending its run into record territory and officially becoming the first company in history to hit a $4.5 trillion market cap. Now, I share this data point with you guys to note, nobody ever thought, 10, 20, 30 years ago that you would see a stock valued at 4.5 trillion. Very similar to how now, especially, TradFi guys cannot wrap their mind around how a digital asset like XRP could eventually extend up to a $4 or $5 trillion asset. And it will. And yes, for those of you guys doing math at home, the market cap bros, yes, with 60 billion circulating supply, let's round up at a $6 trillion valuation, you would have a $100 XRP. It is inevitable in my mind. This year, next year, no. Possible, yes. Unlikely, but eventually inevitable. And you really have to destroy this old paradigm and this way of thinking. Sorry, I'm still getting over the last little bit of this cold. That these guys never thought that you'd see $1 trillion valuation on a company, let alone 4.5 trillion. Same folks that are telling you that XRP can't go to 20 or 30 bucks because it would be at a $1 trillion market cap. Yeah, they're in for a rude awakening, especially if they don't have some in their portfolio. SEC is considering allowing stocks to trade on-chain with plans to launch quickly, the information reports. And this is following up. Nate Garossi reports that yesterday, the New York Stock Exchange, the world's largest stock exchange, just met with the SEC Crypto Task Force. The topic, you guessed it, tokenized equities. I know you're paying attention now. Well, yeah, absolutely, Nate. We've been paying attention. We knew it was coming on chain. And this is actually going to increase the valuations on the stocks as well, too. I think that you're going to see $5-10 trillion stock valuations eventually. We could talk about the Ripple valuation, too. I still think that that's grossly undervalued. And that very well could be the first company to hit a $10 trillion valuation, whether it goes public or not. But what happens here with the tokenization of these equity markets, you bring more accessibility. And then if we get rid of the accreditation rules and you allow non-accredited investors to get access to the private equity, it's going to take some of these private companies, which have valuations well into the tens of billions, hundreds of billions, but are still private. When you open up the access here, it's going to grow everything. A rising tide lifts all boats. Now, do I care to get exposure to stocks right now? Unless it's private equity, no, I'm good. I don't need Nvidia. I don't need any of this high-flying, overvalued tech stocks. But we are absolutely evaluating basically all private equity opportunities in the fintech space. I think there's plenty of other opportunities in AI, even in the medical fields too. I think that there's some really good opportunities in private equity, and that's where the best opportunities are. We know that. As all of this gets tokenized, public companies are going to reach new all-time high valuations. Private equity is going to explode, right? And we're watching that kind of take place right now. Your opportunity to front run this is closing. That window of opportunity to front run all of this is closing, including the institutions who still don't have exposure to crypto. The opportunity to front run them, it's closing pretty quickly. This is Eric Balchunas telling us that the odds of approval for the ETFs is now 100%. Talking about Solana, XRP, Doge, etc. Generic listing standards make the 19B4 filings and their clock meaningless. That just leaves the S1s for waiting for formal green light from the Corporation of Finance. And they just submitted amendment number 4 for Solana. The baby could come any day. Be ready. Now, I've been there before. We brought in a couple babies into the world, and we're going to do another one come about March. Baby boy, baby number 3 on the way. And in the meantime, we're going to have some ETFs going live, and the baby's going to arrive any day now for Solana. And then shortly after, the XRP ETFs are going to go live. And this is what I'm saying. A lot of people just don't understand this. They're ignoring the data. Boy, it just kills me. All these people that think nothing's going to happen with XRP till regulations. Nothing will happen till the Clarity Act. Please look at the chart. Please explain 400% since the election. Full swing of over 600%. A 600% opportunity. And you got a bunch of people yapping about nothing's going to happen till clarity. No, you need to get a little bit more clear and take a look at the chart and understand how these play out time after time again. We called buy the rumor, sell the news on the Fed interest rate decision. We ran up, largest liquidation event of 2025. Same thing's going to happen for the ETFs. You run up, you get a sell-off, everybody's going to call that the top. XRP's done. XRP's over. And this is why I'm titling today's video XRP SuperCycle, $20 to $30 SuperCycle, is because that's not going to be the end of the bull run for XRP. And this is based off of data versus all the people running around. Nothing's going to happen. No, you're just regurgitating whoever came up with these narratives. that nothing was going to happen until regulations pass. That is 100% not true, reflected on the chart. And it's a dangerous narrative. It's a really dangerous rhetoric. The reason why, it's getting me so fired up is because it leads people to not take action. Oh, I don't need to buy XRP now. I don't need to position now because, XRP bull run is over. The ETFs aren't going to do anything. I'm seeing people say that. The ETFs aren't going to have an impact. Please explain how Bitcoin has entered a new reality then, hitting a new all-time high before the halving, extending up to 120,000, even though retail really doesn't even care for it. And that's verified by data from all of the leading exchanges where Bitcoin is not the number one traded crypto, not the number one interest. When you look at the interest, right? The ETFs are going to have an impact. XRP will move before clarity. It's going to move a lot. And it leads to folks sitting back, kicking up their feet, thinking that they don't need to take action now because some talking point narratives getting spewed around that nothing's going to happen. And it's lazy. It's pure laziness. You don't want to do anything now. You don't want to take action now. It's easy to say, oh, I can tune out. I don't need to pay attention because nothing's going to happen till clarity. Meanwhile, we're making a lot of money in the meantime, not just on XRP, on other places too. So we want to break this down for you guys. The $20 to $30 SuperCycle. Straight to the data. Eric Balchunas. The spot Bitcoin ETFs took in $7.8 billion in Q3. Now $21.5 billion year to date. And $57 billion since inception. Those are the cumulative inflows into the Bitcoin ETFs since January 11th, 2024. A solid climb up. Yet some on here are miserable because they live in a childish fantasy that expect 1 trillion of inflows every day. But real growth in reality is 2 steps forward, 1 step back. This is where I warn you about don't have realistic expectations for the ETF, but they will have a difference. See, there's people that are saying it'll have no impact, but then there's also people that are calling for XRP to go to $20,000 this year, $2,000 this year. To do that, you would need 1 trillion of inflows every day for a while. You would need a lot in inflows to get a $1,000, $2,000, or a $20,000 XRP this year. And that's where I want to bring everybody down to reality. Don't be lazy. Don't be thinking that nothing's going to happen, but also don't expect this to go to astronomical prices this year that, just based off the data, would take trillions of inflows coming in for days on end to achieve. And so we circle back with 57 billion of cumulative inflows into the Bitcoin ETF since inception. Now, if you include or compare this to what's going to happen to the XRP ETFs, you have 4 to 8 billion is what JP Morgan predicts first year. Canary Capital CEO predicts 5 billion first month. I'm now basing it off the CME data, which showed us in the past 4 months, there's been equivalent of 6 billion XRP traded, which is 18 billion of trading value. I'm now in the camp of 10 to 20 billion year one. Bitcoin ETFs have been live for a little over a year and a half, and they've had 57 billion. So either we're going to fall a little bit short of that, or maybe we could exceed that. But even if you stay very, very conservative, like I like to do, very conservative with my base case $20 to $30, that is what is coming based off of what we see now in the data on the Bitcoin ETF inflows. On the timeline, here's how it goes. We run up now, leading up to the ETFs going live. Well, short term, we're having a little bit of a pullback right now because of the government shutdown. Not going to last long. Not going to be a serious deal. And I asked you guys yesterday, who's going to be buying the DC dance dip? That's what I'm calling this one. The DC dance dip. If you're buying it, let me know in the comments down below. Not going to last long. Little pullback. Little clown show. It'll wrap up shortly. And then we're off to the races again. After the ETFs go live, we'll get a little bit of a sell-off. Bitcoin pulled back 20% after the ETFs went live. Ethereum pulled back 40%. XRP will pull back by somewhere in between, maybe, right? But then you enter a new reality, and that reality takes us to double digits next year. And I'm just looking at, if Bitcoin is seeing this amount of inflows, XRP is going to at least see half that, if not more. And based off of that, you just do 2 + 2 = 4. I know it's not quite that simple, but it really is. You get to these double-digit prices. You get to a $20 to $30 XRP next year, maybe sooner. Once again, these timeframes could collapse, and it could happen sooner. The inflows could be more aggressive, making the price, go higher, and my targets could be low. But I have to keep my targets conservative because everybody wants to crucify me if I just miss a target by this much. So I have to be conservative. I have to just refer back to the data. And I'm always going to provide you guys real analysis to back up the exciting headlines, the exciting thumbnails, the clickbait, the hopium that everybody wants. I'd love to be able to give you straight hopium every day, and I do. But it's based off this data. It's based off real analysis. It's based off of a real understanding of how these markets work. And it's why we continue to win and grow our portfolios while we're waiting for XRP to make its next leg up. We're finding other plays, but also understanding there's a reason why 90% of my crypto portfolio is spot XRP with no leverage. And boy, do I sleep like a baby at night until my children wake me up. Okay? And so please understand that the top for XRP is not $4 to $5. The top for XRP is not $7 to $8. You could see those levels by the end of the year very easily. But the extension of this bull run, the continuation into what some may call as a super cycle, will happen because of Clarity One and the ETFs going live and the inflows that we'll see from them. That's not the end of the story either, but I don't want to make this video too long. Your digital asset treasury companies, your yield opportunities, XRP being used for meme coins, etc. All of it fuels that XRP supply shock. I stay very conservative. The timelines could collapse. The price targets could be much higher. But I'm telling you, a base case, here we are at $2.82, going up to $20 to $30. It's a fantastic opportunity to take advantage of. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below about the XRP super cycle. Is the timeline going to be faster, longer? Are the targets and the prices going to be lower, higher? You guys let me know what you think, but I am just feeling so comfortable in this investment, seeing the tailwinds that are now behind us. They're going to take us to these double-digit prices next year. You guys let me know what you think in the comments down below. And as always, if you haven't already, please make sure you like this video, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Everything's at my website, zachrector.com. God bless you all.
I am your host, Zach Rector. I really appreciate all of the love and support. If you want to support the channel, just remember that you can start by smashing that thumbs up for me, sharing this content far and wide, and everything else is at my website.